Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Google had an interesting announcement yesterday. They have launched Google Bard, which is in direct competition to ChatGPT. On their official blog, they have released this note saying, we have been working on an experimental conversational AI service that we are calling Bard, and today we are taking another step forward by opening it to the trusted testers ahead of making it more widely available to the public in the coming weeks. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about number one, understanding Google's business model itself, how they are making money, and subsequently, is Bard a good fit for Google? Then we'll move ahead and understand what is Microsoft's business model and is ChatGPT a good fit for Microsoft? And finally, throughout the video, please do follow the structured communication aspect as well, because I'll be using charts and graphs continuously to prove my points. Now, let's start with Google's business model. Google's revenues from advertising were $54 billion in the last quarter, and the overall revenues were $69 billion. So ad revenues are close to 75% of the overall Google revenues. Huge dependence on ads. Now, if you think about the conversational nature of an AI or of any individual, right? Let's say you come to me and ask a question. Hey Pawan, I'm an engineering student. I do not know any programming language. Which language should I start with? Where do I start? I will say, hey, why don't you go ahead and start with Java? Why don't you go start with Python? But I wouldn't say, hey, go start with Upgrad or go start with some other company. Now, Google's results start with advertisements. However, on ChatGPT, you would not see any kind of advertisements. Now, Google cannot take off these ads because they are 75% of their overall revenues. That is where Google is making money. It's not making money by showing you and me free search results. Now, let's assume that Google has figured out some ways where they can integrate ads into the mix. And they are showing on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side of the conversation, some kind of ads. However, the question is, how are ads ranked? If you look into the Google website itself, they very clearly say ad rank is calculated using bid amount. That's the primary factor. Now, in a conversation, I can probably still put in an ad, but I cannot put in an ad based on the bid amount. Ad is completely relevant based on the subjective nature of the conversation. And hence, even if it is able to include these ads, the overall ad revenue will come down. So it's a very risky move for Google to include conversational AI ability within the search results. The search results so far are just an objective way. Hey, you ask me something, I'll just show you whatever is available on the internet. However, subjective nature is making it tweaking completely to you based on the exact question that you are asking. Now, the third thing is the overall market share of Google. If you look at this chart, well, this is a very interesting chart because the line is pretty flat. You can see that, hey, the Google's market share within the search segment is 90 to 92%, and hence the flat line. If they tinker something with their existing excellent algorithms, it's a huge risk for them from a market share perspective. Well, Bing has a lot of wealth behind it to capitalize on any kind of issues or mistakes coming from the Google search side. So they cannot probably do anything with that cash generating asset of theirs, that's Google search. Now, these issues also apply to Microsoft, right, with ChatGPT. Then why is it a good fit for Microsoft? Let's understand the Microsoft quarterly revenues as well. You can see the productivity and business processes account for $17 billion. Well, what is productivity and business process? This includes like Microsoft Dynamics, which is their version of Salesforce CRM. Then the second one is Intelligent Cloud, which is $21.5 billion. Well, their cloud services are behind Amazon AWS. Now, the third thing, personal computing, where they are selling Windows OS, that is $14 billion. And also Bing is included within this personal computing, which is a small number. So their issues are not related to search. Now, what these guys will do potentially is include this conversational AI in their cloud. Well, Microsoft Cloud is in the much better position with respect to market share compared to Google Cloud. And when they start including these features in the cloud, it becomes much easier to search. For example, if I'm working for IBM and IBM already knows that, hey, I know Python, if I search for some kind of a knowledge starter packs within IBM website, then I will get from the ChatGPT based on my existing already known context. Now, that cannot happen in the search world because you have to provide a lot of context for these conversational AIs to perform to the best of their abilities. And that's again another issue for Google, whereas that context can be preset in corporate world. Now, the other point is that Microsoft is very clear and saying that, hey, ChatGPT, we have 50% stake, close to 50% stake, and we are okay with charging money for the usage of ChatGPT because hey, it's probably not moving the needle much for them through Bing. And when they are putting a price on the usage of ChatGPT, they are not letting ads come into the picture. You have to pay $20 per month to use ChatGPT. Again, if I show you ads, the entire conversation dilutes itself. So that's a pretty clear statement from them. Now, that's the reason why any additional revenues from a subscription standpoint for this usage of ChatGPT is a bonus for Microsoft, whereas that could be the huge hindrance for Google. I hope this makes sense to you. Please do let me know if you have any questions in the comment box and I will be happy to answer them. Take care, guys. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.